What's the word, good people? Back at it
What it
again with
do?
another episode, another week in the books. Book 2, Chapter 35. I'm your host, Rich, joined by the legend Spike Lou. Spike Lou, how you feeling, brother?
Feeling good, feeling great, my brother. How you feeling out there?
Doing well, man. Feeling good. Had a good week. Bouncing back from the past couple episodes with the fatigue and the self-doubt. Much more uplifted week, I'd say.
Good
So
to
I'm
see.
feeling
Good to
good
hear
about
that.
everything, man. Absolutely, absolutely, man.
Yeah, I think we're on the right path to getting this ship where we want it to be. So appreciate everybody to check in and give feedback and has influenced the path that we're currently on. So keep it
Absolutely.
coming.
Absolutely, man. We are
Pause.
going to. Oh man, one day we'll grow up. One day we'll grow up,
One
man.
day, not today though.
We're going to continue the conversation and the trend that has been on with the self improvement and really reflection. I like to call it just getting to know yourself or relearning yourself. I think that should be done in phases.
Hmm.
And Spike Lee had a good question that he posed or a good activity that he posed earlier today, and we thought it was pretty interesting. So might not be a super long episode, but it will have all the information that's good and needed. I talked to Spike Lou about just who we are and what we're figuring out, and I always said 90 minutes. I think it's the perfect time, like 90 minutes or less.
Facts.
So as long as the conversation is meaningful, I think that's what matters the most. And to all you bookworms out there, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for continuing to support. Please continue to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend and tell a friend, word of mouth, the whole nine. I do want to go to a couple of comments that we received in regard to from the bookworms. One was from chapter 33 with the fatigue episode. So we had Goody Jenkins comment on Spotify. Solid episode. I listened to some of the other podcasts Nick is on, and it was good to hear him speak on something serious, but still have his Nick spin on it. So that kind of plays into what we talked about last week, the compliments that I received from people. Mo said it, the whole nine, man. So shout out to Nick. Um, Shit, a Bengals hat, man. You know what it is.
Shout out
We
to Nick,
also,
man.
for sure, for sure. We also have, I'm going to switch to YouTube before I get to this other Spotify comment. Portia, shout out to Portia, man. She was supposed to be on today, but she had some stuff come up. So, but she'll be back on first Friday, at the beginning of April. April, I'm tripping.
August.
Beginning of August. Thank you,
August
man.
sound crazy to say.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. August
August, nigga.
doesn't
Jesus.
doesn't make any sense, man. But Portia wrote, man, my notes while listening. Clips dropped an instant classic, but to the conversation of avoiding things, I don't think it's an age thing. I do think majority of Americans have gotten this way because of how much we have seen and had to go through, and we are just tired, scared, and destroyed in a sense. We are sticking to a comfort zone or what some may think is lazy or scared because of what we have seen and experienced. We are damaged and trying to self-preserve the best we can. Shout out to Matt, who truly puts on for the city of Cincinnati, man. I talked about him, MT, owns corporate. Absolutely. Always giving back to the community. And she has testimony. My self-doubt is going viral. I went mini viral once, and the 1,000s of people commenting, seeing, and sharing me was overwhelming. But to be where I want to be in potting, I have to do the visuals. It's a catch 22. So that is the self doubt that Portia sharing. We appreciate you for sharing that. And I can understand because that's a battle that Spike and myself have struggled with. Not being visible in a space where you need to be visible.
And a little bit our episode gonna touch to that. Like I
yeah.
was that feed we'll talk about it when we get there, but yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane, man. And
Yeah,
then
I
going
have
back,
no aspirations to go viral at all, like ever. I
none
don't
whatsoever. None
I
whatsoever.
don't ever want to deal with that.
And then get into the theme that we said we are going to start. We got a comment from Dejor Falk, our guy. Shout out to OG Bookworm. Question of the week. So we did have
Mm.
somebody write one in. Spike,
Oh,
question of the week.
appreciate that.
Absolutely, man. So this is a segment we'll be starting every week. Could come from anyone. He asks, do either of y'all have a letterbox or have another way of keeping track of all the media you watch? Spike Lou, do you have a letterbox?
Yes, but I do a terrible job of keeping it updated. For those of you that don't know, Letterboxd keeps track of things, movies and TV shows that you watch. People can follow you and see your comments and your ratings on all the TV shows. Well, they ain't really got TV like they need to. To be honest with you, that's really why I stopped being as active on it. But yeah, I do have one. I think it's I am Spike Lee or just Spike Lee, one or the other. But I will do a better job of keeping them updated. It's just overwhelming once you get behind. He's like, damn, all the shit that I've seen. So yeah, I do have one. I'm gonna keep it up. What about you? You got one?
No, I wasn't even familiar with. Oh, I've heard of it, but I never really dug
Yeah,
in to see what it was. But
it's
that's
cool.
something
It'll
that
be great
perfect.
for someone like you. You would be that would be a
But I would,
wonderful like addition
I,
to your tool belt.
yeah, I go to the movies all the time. I told
Facts.
people as of right now, we're July what 17th. I've seen like 29 movies in the theaters.
Damn.
Um,
I'm
just
up.
this year
I'm
alone.
about. I'm half of that. I'm about at least 15,
Yeah,
15 to
and
20.
what's crazy is none of them are really for pods. It's just that I love going to the movies. It's like one of those self care things for me. It always has been. Culture Garden, shout out to Culture Garden, shout out to school. We just released a DVD collection episode
Nice.
because we still have DVDs and if anybody's seen like the Criterion closet pics on YouTube, where you got actors or filmmakers like a little room, little almost like a little closet with DVDs, and people are picking some out, talking about like
Mm.
what the film means to them, and you should watch this. School and myself did the same thing, man. So that was real cool. Just kind of dig the more DVD
Is that a
collection.
series y'all gonna do, or y'all that was just
Nah,
an
it was just
episode?
random. I'm sure we'll do it again, but it was just a random
I, I'd
episode,
love.
man.
I'd definitely love to be a part of that one next time y'all do it.
Yeah, man. I pulled out Streets is Watching,
Mm.
Fade to Black. I got Death of a Dynasty, like all the
Mm.
Rockefeller films, Paper Soldiers,
Where
all
you
that
watch
stuff.
Death of a Dynasty at on YouTube?
No, I got
I
DVD.
still ain't
These,
never watched it because it's on YouTube.
yeah, these are
Oh, you
DVDs.
had the DVD.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what.
oh,
Yeah,
you
literally, I
had
have
that.
physical
Damn.
DVDs. That was the whole point. DVD collection. We had our physical
Oh, okay.
DVDs.
I ain't got my. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
where my DVDs are.
yeah. I know a
I
lot of people
couldn't.
don't have them anymore, but no,
I had a whole case. I mean, one of them tubs of 'em, but I don't know where them joints at now.
yeah, because everything's streamed. But I like to keep
Yeah,
them just in case the Wi-Fi go down one day.
facts.
Got something. But to answer that George question, I will get a letterbox because that does sound interesting. I keep an actual note in my phone, a movie list note, and I separate it by the month. So every
Mm.
movie I see in January, and I'll put where I saw it. If I saw it on streaming or if I saw it in theaters, I put a little parentheses by it. And sometimes I make notes of how many times I've seen a movie, but I usually remember that because there are a few movies I've seen multiple times in the theaters this year as well.
You going to
Said,
see that new joint with dude from The Last of Us? I want to see that. I think I'm going to see that this weekend.
which one is that?
Name of it up while you talk.
Um, yeah, I think this weekend I'm going to see Eddington.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
That's it.
got you. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, I'll definitely go see Eddington. Um, see what that's talking about. I saw Superman. I saw Oh High last week, and I also saw Jurassic Park. I feel like
Did
I
you
saw
like
another.
Superman?
I did like Superman. I did like Superman.
I did too.
It was
I did a good job.
it was definitely a comic movie that wasn't really corny. It had just the right amount of corny. Um, I said this, and then later I found out. I guess James Gunn said this in an interview. I didn't know he said this, but my initial thoughts were, man, it felt like 2008 watching Iron Man for the first time. So
Mm.
if you go back and you don't know anything about what's to come from MCU, all you knew was you was watching a good movie and like, oh, they might have something here. I'm interested in more. And for this being the first movie of this new DCU,
Universe. Yeah.
yeah, like I think they're on the right path. We'll see what it goes, man. Nobody's gotten DC right except for Nolan. It really wasn't DC; he was just doing Batman. Um, so yeah, we'll see what
Hmm.
happens, man. I really did enjoy it. But yeah, I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
liked
start
it.
there. I'm gonna get that day, Jordan. I got a question real quick, just in the same vein, because I was gonna ask this as a question of the week. I didn't see Day George commenting. Somebody asked me this, and I thought it was fascinating. I want to get your thoughts on this. If somebody who's never seen a movie before comes up
Hmm.
to you and asks you, what movie should I watch? What's the first movie I should
Mm.
watch? What do you think a choice would be? Because I was thinking about this. You can't go with a super classic. Because if I start here, then everything else gonna be downhill. I need to start somewhere
Mm.
mid to high. Like you can't tell me to go watch the greatest movie ever because my experience after that isn't gonna be as fulfilling.
Can I ask like follow-up questions, or is just a
Yeah,
person
sure. You
like
can
I
have
race,
you can ask follow up questions. Yeah, like
race, gender, age?
yeah. First thing I'll probably ask is, do you read books, and what kind of books do you read,
Okay,
so I can get an idea of what kind of genre you into, and then
got
take
it.
it from there. It's not an easy question. It's tough.
That's not an easy question. The first thing that popped to my head with Shawshank Redemption for some reason. And then
See,
my
now you,
mind,
but you get into that. Where you going
yeah,
after
you get
Shawshank?
into
It's
like
only a few
that is
movies you going
true.
after Shawshank.
And you know, the second thought that I had for some weird ass reason, maybe because I just seen the preview on Superman, is Wizard of Oz.
That's actually not a bad choice. That's
I
actually
think
not
that's
a
like a
bad choice.
timeless like story. Most people can relate to it. Like I feel like everybody's seen that. So if you just starting to watch movies and you put that on, like a person would get the idea and want more.
Yeah,
Like you said, it ain't. It's a classic in the sense of it's the fucking Wizard of Oz, but there are no amazing performances or like just oh I don't know what I'm gonna watch after this. Like you said with Shawshank, but I
right.
think I think it may be the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, you satisfied? It's a
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like I get this. What
it's
was yours?
almost like so. All right, here's my first initial answer was Pulp Fiction, and I thought about it like, nah, that's not a good one
Mm-mm.
to start with because
You gonna
that's
confuse them?
it's such a unique film.
Yeah,
If they first movie ever seen, they're gonna think all films are like that. Is not the case. So you gotta
yeah.
take that off the board. Um, I was talking to someone else, and
And
they
that's probably
said
the
when
only
you
movie like that
that's what I'm
that
saying,
I can
yeah.
think of. Yeah,
But it's the one that changed how I looked at movies. So I automatically
that's
like go to it. But someone mentioned timeless classic Friday.
that's
Friday
a good
has the
one.
appeal, yeah, because Friday is one of the how do I Friday's one of those movies where if you from another ethnicity, if you white or any kind of other background, I'm surprised if you haven't seen it. It's reached everyone. Like you
Mm.
know what I mean? Like it's one of those films. Like if you ask you can go on the streets and ask white people you've ever seen Boys in the Hood, Menace, South Central, Baby Boy, and they might be like, I don't know what you're talking about. They gonna know Friday, and they're gonna be able to quote Friday.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that's the first thing that I thought is like, would somebody from another ethnicity get
Oh,
it?
they yes, yes, yes. People love Friday.
Interesting.
Yeah, people love Friday. And then
Huh.
my only other option that I might do, I might throw a curveball really because you can't go wrong with it. An animated movie, like something like The Lion King, Beauty of the Beast, Toy Story.
Toy Story.
That would be a great
Yeah.
first watch. Like if my first movie I ever saw was Toy Story, I think I'm into something. I'm getting drawn into movies, and it's a good ass story, and there's still other places to go. And shit, you can Toy Story 3 might be the best one in this whole series. So you
It's
still
crazy.
got levels to go within the whole series.
I know a nigga that hates Toy Story. Mike from Frames Per Second. Y'all check out the Frames Per Second podcast.
That's
But it's on
I
brand
said
for
it's on
him.
brand. Like what are we talking about? And I don't even know Mike like that, but for what I do know about Mike, that sounds like it's on brand for him. So yeah.
That's funny as hell. But yeah, Toy
Um,
Story is a good one. What's the one with the dogs?
with dogs.
Where they doing the spaghetti
Oh,
thing?
Lady in the Tramp.
I feel like that'll be a good one too.
That might be. Ratatouille would be a good one. Some stuff
Yeah,
like that, man. But
yeah.
Incredibles, yeah, all types of stuff, man. But all
That's a good
right.
question, man. I'm gonna take it over to Frames Per Second and give you some, see what some of them guys said
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I'm gonna talk about it on Culture Garden as well. So yeah, I'd love to hear that feedback and what they say. So yeah, let me know. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into chapter 35. Um, Before we actually get into the main topic, and I'll
Hmm.
have you roll it out and kind of where you got the question from and how we got to this point.
Okay.
A while ago, many, many, many chapters ago, I can't remember which chapter, but I can't even remember what story happened. There's a segment where I said, man, we're gonna call the segment "Keeping It a Buck." Just keep it a
Okay.
buck, man. You ain't gotta lie to us. You ain't gotta do all this bullshit. Just keep it a buck. It's gonna save you so much time. And I know you saw this. I know everybody saw this. It's going around the internet crazy right
I know
now.
what you finna say.
Yes, man. And I want to get your thoughts on this briefly. We're not gonna spend a ton of time on it.
Uh,
Um, but yesterday, we're recording this on a Thursday. I believe this was Wednesday night. I'm not sure the exact date. But at a Coldplay concert in Boston, Massachusetts. All right, the
oh,
stadium where the Patriots play, Gillette Stadium. Coldplay decided to do a kiss cam. The kiss cam landed on what looked to be. I
a
mean,
happy couple.
some people can't even say ain't no couple that happened. That's what somebody said. They oozed affair. The way they was holding each other. You see how he and this man.
Oh,
You see how they was holding each other. They were
facts.
lost. That was some Ghost Angeles shit.
She was
That
in
was some
bliss.
that was a Ghost Angeles shit. But the kiss cam gets to these two people, And as soon as they recognize it, they're both mortified. The woman puts her hands over the face and ducks out. Man ducks down on the slide. We got another woman that's standing next to them, just looking in shock with her hand on her face with like this smile. One of those smiles
Blushing.
that like you have nothing to do but smile because you literally stuck. And
Hmm.
here's where the whole segment comes into play. I want to ask you this, Spike. Maybe in the tech world, because it turns out this guy's the CEO of a company called Astronomer,
Yep.
chief executive officer, and she happens to be the chief people officer
Head
of
of
that
HR.
same company. Yeah, I'm sure in the tech world, people know who you are. Does this go viral if they don't react the way they react?
Absolutely not. They're just two white people that are hugging each other if they
Mm-hmm.
didn't react that way. So that was the one thing about it. Like they lost their cool. I had questions though.
Yeah,
One was, so everybody at work must know about this. Cause obviously there were people in that box that worked with them, it looked like. Unless Shorty was just her friend and she knew they was cheating and it was just them three there together. Which
I
didn't
think
look
that's
like the
what it
case. It looked
was.
like they had a box though. That's what I thought. I was like, well, damn, they was okay hugging in front of all the other people that work with them. That didn't give off, like mischievous, but maybe it
Yeah,
was just Shorty that was with them that knew them.
that's what
So
I'm
that's one
thinking
thing.
too.
You
That's
thinking it
what
was
that,
just like a
well,
little
I'm thinking it was a
sneak off?
small little. Yeah, I don't think you
You
that
don't think the
company
whole company
value
was there?
company valued in the billions, man. You ain't about to throw the bag away over an affair. They're both married. They're both married.
Jesus
So I
Christ.
don't think you do that and then kind of if who was it recently that had that conversation? I think it might have been David Banner. David Banner
What'd
was
he
on
say?
Club Shay Shay. I didn't watch the interview. I saw a clip where he was talking about somebody told him, "I don't do business with men who cheat on their wives."
Mm, that's a
Pretty
good.
much,
I That's a
pretty
good business
like if the woman,
rule to have.
if the person that you sleep with doesn't trust you, then why should I trust you? That was the
That's a
whole mindset behind that.
you know, person
So
that you build, like you built with that person. Y'all probably got a house, kids.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
yeah.
So he got that advice like I don't do business with people who cheat. And when I look at because you can go to astronomer and look at the leadership, and I'm looking at the board and their leadership and all this stuff, and I'm like, man, if I'm that high up, I don't want my CEO to be reckless and shaky. I want to be able to look like, oh, I'm
Mm,
happy. I'm happy with where this company's headed because I got a solid person at the lead of this, man, woman, whatever. And that's why I'm saying I don't think they knew because that's way too willy nilly. I wouldn't be if you're doing that shit that I'm thinking I'm that high up in the company. I'm thinking I could take your job. I might start making
facts.
moves to take over and all that stuff. So you got to have some
Cause
kind
you're
of type of
reckless.
professional, bruh. And that's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. I think he listen. I don't know. All I thought about was Avon. That's not how the game
That's
is
how the
played.
game's played,
Don't
man.
bring your married side chick out in public, hugged up like that without
To
any
a
kind of
Coldplay
respect.
concert.
Cole, yeah, man, that's some shit you do on the other side of town, out of town, somewhere like that where you kind of be yourselves and nobody know who you are. My next question, while you thinking,
Uh-huh.
because I've had some insight. These kiss cams, I know people that know people camera operators. They
Yeah.
can tell them like, hey, I'm gonna be sitting in this section, put the camera on me and shit like that. Do you think that was intentional? Or that was just a
Yeah.
good chance of luck?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but I think that there was a fuck it attitude going into it.
They was
Cause
drunk.
they was lit.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that ain't the first couple that they showed on the Kiss Cam. Like they don't think they started with them two. I
Nah,
would
they didn't.
assume.
They didn't. Nah,
So
they
you
didn't.
see that going down and you still like
Yeah.
hugged up like fuck it. But a couple of takeaways that I have from it is one, it's amazing how things catch traction nowadays. Like I woke up this morning and it was the first message in the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, why would I care about this? I'm really finna get a nigga shit who sent it. Like, why you sending me? Like, bro, what the fuck we care about two white people at a Coldplay concert cheating? But then I log on to Twitter,
Yeah.
I scroll every post. Every post is like every post is about it. The blogs, people I follow, trending topics, everything is them two getting caught in that moment. I'm like, God damn, look. look how much one people love mess. It's insane
Yeah,
how much we
it's
that's the whole Love Island phenomenon. People love mess, and it's crazy how much we're attracted to that as human beings. And I want to double back to
absolutely.
another point before I toss it back to you on something that you said. Even on beyond doing business with somebody, I don't even want you cheating in front of me. Like
Hey man,
I feel like that's a person, especially if I know your girl.
I'm
Like
a
I feel
big
like that's a personal thing. Like you need to do that over on your own time. Like don't feel free hitting your little, you know what I mean, up in front of me just because we in the whip together, or I don't want to pull up with you to your side chick house if we just happen to be going somewhere, just going somewhere with the homie. I don't want her to pull up. We chilling at the bar. Cause I don't want to be involved with none of that, bro. I'm cool. I feel like if you doing that, you got to do that like on your own time. Don't put your people in that position. I don't want to know. Like what was that? What's
yeah,
my man name?
Mario
Yeah,
Winans.
Mario. I don't want to know, bro. Like even with homeboys or homegirls, like I don't want to know. Like do that over there. That way, I'm never put in a compromising position again. Especially if I know, like if me and your significant other is cool. Like I don't want to know, bro.
One thing we talked about this some episodes back, some chapters back, about what you expect out of friendship. One thing for me that I expect and I give equally, plausible deniability. If I'm doing dirt, I'm not keeping nobody with me.
You're right. Like if I'm
And if you
committing a
doing
crime, bro,
dirt,
ain't no co-defendants. Ain't
I'm
no
cool,
co-defendants,
bro.
my
Yeah,
dog.
I'm standing on my own, man. I do my dirt all by my
Facts.
lonely, and that's just kind of how it is because they literally pause. Like, just in case you do have somebody that might fold if the right person asks them the question, I don't know. I literally don't know. Like,
Facts. Fun fact, in the last relationship that I was in, I got into an argument with my girl about this because she couldn't understand. She was like, "So if you seen subject A that's cool with you cheating, you wouldn't try to prevent him from." I was like, "What?"
yeah, that's
It
wild.
sounded crazy to me. But her as a woman, she was looking at it differently. It was like she was like, "Absolutely, I would." Like if I
What are
seen
you
one of
supposed
my
to do?
home, that's what I asked her, and she was like, "You should step in and say something." I was like,
Say
"What?"
that nigga ain't gonna give
That
a fuck
sounds
about what I have to
insane.
say.
That's and me and you are alike, so that's what I asked her, and she put it in some sense of the like, you got to think about your girl and your family that you're jeopardizing. I'm like, man, ain't nobody doing
You
that shit.
it would have
But
to
I
be an
do,
extremely unique case. Like literally, like my man's got a family of five, hit the jackpot, wife is the best. Like, bro, you hold on, man. I can't even let you. It would have to be me looking. I'm not even looking at it as you cheating. I'm looking at it as, hey, I see you about to mess up your entire life. I don't care about the cheating, but you're doing things that are about to mess up your life. You got it too good, bro. That's the only way I can even see myself stepping in. Like, hey, bro, let me holler at you for a second.
but even then, I think it depends on too his track record. If it's a homie that you know, like
Yeah,
you
that's
know he get down like that,
yeah, he been in the
like what
game.
you, right, but I could kind of see it if it's like you looking at him and like, ah, this too much. Like you in Vegas, like you in
Yeah,
a strip club and like he's being overwhelmed and you know he legit about to make a mistake. I could see him like, bro, like you don't no, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Just on some like
yeah,
G
yeah.
shit. But if this his get now, what am I supposed to say, bro?
He
Like,
been
I don't
doing
even
he
like
yeah.
again. I don't even want to be around.
Yeah, I
So
shouldn't know it. I shouldn't even know, man. Do your thing. I've heard whispers, but I
yeah,
don't know how to get
exactly.
there. I've heard
I
whispers.
don't
I
know. I
can't
always
confirm or
want to be
deny.
able to be like, I don't know, and that be true. I don't know. Fuck what
Plausible
I know.
deniability, man. That's how I should be, man. You said you had something for me though, based on something I said. I don't know if you already said it or not.
That was it. That was it.
Okay, then got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. And to our point, when you know that chick that was with him, she looked like she was the one cheating. That's how embarrassed she looked. Because when you know
Facts.
information like that, you holding it in. Now you just as guilty. So now they
My
wives, his wife gonna be on some damn. You knew?
uh-huh. Oh, his wife changed her last
I
name
saw.
on
Yeah, I
Facebook. You
saw it.
saw that.
I saw it.
Because cuz ain't got no cool. You could tell. Like my man dipped down. He like literally ducked down.
Like
You
yeah,
got to do the slow back away or something, or act like, you know what I'm saying? It's a friendly hug. You got to throw some type of sauce on it instead of just dipping up out of there. Like, that's player 101. Like, you can't
or
just
play
dip up out of there like
or keep that shit cool in public. That's some. You're a
or
billionaire,
that.
bro. Get you a private flight. Go to one of these little islands where ain't nobody, ain't no cameras around. Do all that
Facts.
frolic shit that you want to, but at the middle of a cold play,
Yeah, that's insane.
somebody definitely was like on some because the way they were hooked up, man. The fuck is going
Yeah, they
on?
went. They in love.
Yeah, man.
And
Shout out.
one of the other things that I thought, how do we know that they people don't know? Like
They didn't know.
some
Listen,
people get down like that.
when
Like
you
his
when
wife Mike knew. Obviously she didn't since she changed her name. Well, maybe she didn't want it to be public. Maybe she knows, but she just don't want it to be embarrassed.
it's never the cheat, and it's always an embarrassment. That's
Yep.
all it is.
That's
Men the
that's
same way. The men were the
facts.
ones that were getting cheated on like that, and we really reacted and with our emotions. It'd be all types of crazy.
Facts.
But I don't think it's the cheating; it's the embarrassment. Like if you're gonna do what you do, that's cool. But now everybody know.
Yeah, it
That's
is
what's
the
fucked up.
embarrassment. Cause now, cause I don't know if you've seen this. It was some rapper from Texas.
Yeah,
Some nigga, and I don't know what his girl did to him, but that nigga dropped a list of every like I guess his girl like a IG model or something. So
yeah.
this nigga listed off like 30 dudes that his chick had smashed. Like Trayvon Diggs and Slim Thug, just a whole lot of motherfuckers from Texas.
That was his
And you
girl.
could like and it was his, I think it's his baby mama. And I don't know what she did to the nigga, but he just draw you smashed this nigga, like it was
What's that
notable
supposed to
names
mean?
on there. It's like go to
What's
what you said with the embarrassment. She embarrassed him some kind of way, so now he feel like he got to embarrass her. That was the point that I
do
was
you
making,
think?
but it
But
was crazy.
do you think it works like that when I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation, man. Because I wouldn't.
And it's what
The
somebody
first thing,
commented and said was like, nigga,
first thing,
you had a baby with her, nigga. Like what? What's the point of you telling us this?
first thing I'm thinking about was shit. She must be high quality. Is she in that circle? Like, I wonder what
That's what
that
I
thing hit for.
that's
Like,
what I was thinking about
what
too.
is hitting
I
for?
seen that as niggas, that's our brain go. I was like, damn, she must be bad.
Yeah,
Like she
what is? Yeah, because hey,
it's fucking
if you
NFL players.
niggas are
My man,
rappers,
the boxer nigga was on there that just got locked up.
Errol Spence. You talking
Nah,
about
Javante
the nigga that?
Davis.
Okay, yeah. I
That
ain't listen.
nigga. Listen, man, she had some bodies.
Hey,
And
we
as
don't.
a nigga, my first thought was, damn, let me see what she look like.
Hey, man, get as many bodies as you need, man. We don't sex shame at the
Hey
Love
man,
Movement book.
it ain't
So
none of that ain't
get it
none
how
of my business.
get it how
That ain't
y'all
none of
live,
my.
man.
I ain't never asked that question. That ain't none of my business.
Get it how you live, man. But Spike Lou, pass the ball in your court, man. You reached out earlier with asking me if I use Chat GPT. Now, before we
Yep.
get into this, I don't know if this is true or not. I need to do some
Uh-huh.
research. There has been word that Chat GPT is dangerous to the environment. I'm not sure how true that is. Um, I'm not sure if there's any validity in that. I got to do some research before I do. But this conversation is going to center around Chat GPT. We don't mean to cause any harm, but this is more so just a conversation. If it does, we'll kind of figure that out in real time. Have you heard that before, Spike?
Yeah, it was pertaining to the data centers that they have to build to store the information. So like,
Mm.
I think this is not ChatGPT, but Google for their AI service just spent like 50 billion on real estate to build warehouses to store servers for all the information that comes in for their chat GPT box. So what I've heard of why it's bad for the environment is because they have to continue to build these data centers. And these data centers use up a lot of electricity, a lot of emissions into the environment as far as that. So yeah, I've heard that. But
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, ain't no way people can complain all they want to about AI. It's coming, bro. Like it's man,
It's
like you
here.
either learn how
It's
to
here.
use that shit or get left behind. Like ain't no in betweens. Ain't no I'm protesting. I'm not gonna use it. Then you're going to be left behind. It's like saying I'm not using Google. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You won't have the
Damn.
information then.
Google's a bird, man. I remember we used to have Ask Jeeves, Yahoo. Nobody even think
Hmm.
about putting shit in Yahoo or this nigga Google ASAP. So
Facts.
all right. But you sent a text out asking me if I use Chat GPT. I told you I did use it. And you said, hey man, I wanted to try this activity. You got to put this in your Chat GPT and see what you get.
Hmm.
You want to go ahead and get into what the sentence is, and I want to know where you got this idea from.
Yep. So I was Shout out to all the on deck listeners that listen. Me and AB haven't been able to record. He's had some technical issues over the last 2 weeks. We'll be back next week though. But me and AB were texting, and I was asking him about this event this weekend. And once we got that situated, he was like, "Hey, have you ever put this in chat?" I copied and pasted the same message that I sent to you. He was like, "Have you ever put this in chat GBT?" And I was like, "No." But I'm interested in what it would spit out because I had put in before off someone else's prompt. I think I seen this on some podcast that I was watching. It was like, type in your social media handles and ask Chat GPT what type of online footprint that you have.
Hmm.
And what it'll do is scan your Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, and it'll give you a breakdown of how you're presenting yourself on social media. So that's another prompt for you guys that use ChatGPT. Put in your social media handle and just ask, "Hey, read back my social footprint," and it'll tell you all those things and how you come off. So I thought that was pretty cool. But what AB did send me was that text that I sent you, which was
I got it up.
with
My
all
bad. I
the,
thought you had it. My bad.
I got it. It
Okay.
says, with all the data that you have collected about me, tell me who I am at my core and don't sugarcoat your response. So I sent that to you as well because I wanted to know. AB didn't send me what he had said, but I sent it what mine said to you, and I thought it would be an interesting talking point on how accurate this is, of how AI perceives us, how we can use it, and did it give you any motivation? Or did it
Okay.
give you hesitance in using AI and like, damn, like how they come up with all of this shit, or how is it so inaccurate or accurate? So you and I are
Um.
gonna read over the responses
Yeah.
that we got from each other's prompts and then get into a discussion about what we think those responses meant.
Okay. You want to go first? You want me to read your response first? You want to read mine? It doesn't really matter to me.
It don't matter to me.
All right. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna read what ChatGPT said about Spike Lee. Because he sent me what his said, and I sent him what mine said. We'll just read it for each other, and then just open up the door because I really want to know if you agree, what you agree with, what you disagree with, and
Are we
kind of
gonna
the same
do that
question I
after you
asked.
read it, or we gonna read
Yeah,
both
we'll do it right.
responses
Yeah, no,
first?
we'll do it after we
Okay.
read. This is a Spike Lee segment right now. All right, we're
Okay.
gonna focus on you, and then we'll move on to mine. All right. Here's what ChatGPT had to say about the good brother Spike. All
Mm.
right, here's the straight, unfiltered version. You're a driven and multifaceted creative with a sharp business instinct. At your core, you're someone who seeks meaning and excellence in everything you do, whether that's in podcasting, media production, or professional growth. You don't just want to participate in culture, you want to shape it. You care about elevating voices, especially Black voices, and holding yourself and others accountable, not just for the sake of doing it, but because you believe in growth through truth. You're also strategic. You're not afraid of putting in the work behind the scenes, building brands, coordinating interviews, crafting talk tracks, making follow up plans, and constantly refining your pitches. You're the type of person who will study a demo portal, map out a discovery call, and still come back to brainstorm fun banter for a podcast because you want the full picture to be tight. At the same time, you're seeking alignment. You've got a foot in multiple worlds, creative, corporate, and personal development, and you're figuring out how to make them reinforce each other without selling out who you are. You're not chasing hype, you're chasing impacts.
Mm.
But you're aware that impact without income is unsustainable, and you're working to close that gap. There's a clear hunger for more influence, more recognition, more ownership. But not just for ego, you're aiming to leave a mark. You want your work to matter. And while you're still navigating how to scale that across your projects and partnerships, the intentionality is there. You are Spike Lou, and beneath everything, whether it's good earners, frames per second, dead end sports, or the best episode ever, you're someone who wants to make things that last, not just things that hit. No fluff, just facts.
Mm.
ChatGPT compiled that about you. So you ask me questions, I'm going to ask you the same thing. First, do you agree with that assessment? Or what do you agree with and what do you disagree with?
I was surprised at how accurate that it was.
Okay.
I don't even think that I use or didn't think that I used Chat GPT enough to give that type of an in-depth analysis on me.
I thought the same
And
thing.
people that listen to this show that have been listening to this show know I'm not bullshitting when I say that. A lot of the things that are there that came from Chat GPT, they've heard me say here. I ain't typed those things in the Chat GPT. Like it's a thought process that I've had that, we've discussed. Mo it came in and discussed like since book one.
Yeah,
So for it to be as spot on as it is, especially like the example that I would give is in there somewhere it was like you don't want to go viral, you want to make an impact, and that's one of the biggest hesitancies that I have about those reels and stuff that I was doing. Is just like I want these to be impactful. I don't care if 3,000 people or 300 people look at them, but I do want it to be effective in the sense of, oh, I'm glad he does this. I'm glad that they decided to have this conversation on another week in the books. I'm glad On Deck talked about this. I'm glad Dead End Sports is the mic still on frames per second. Either one of those shows, I'm glad that they talked about this. I'm glad that they took a black perspective and broke down each scene of The Sopranos in every season. That's more so what I want people to be like when they stumble upon the content or when they purposely look for it, not someone scrolling and oh this is funny, give it a like, and I never think about it again until the next post comes up. So it was amazing to me that it captured that because those weren't prompts that I've typed in the Chat GPT. That's a thought process that I have, and for it to call that out like that was super surprising to me. So I did not expect it to be that accurate at all.
I have follow up questions for you, but just
Okay.
recapping on what you said, I couldn't agree more. When we get to mine, I use ChatGPT mainly for writing captions.
Hmm.
I'll write a caption and I'll ask ChatGPT just to clean it up for our episodes, and I do that across multiple podcasts. And that's really about it. I use it for some personal stuff here and there, just little small stuff, trying to organize and track things. But I was surprised it gathered all that data. Um, the other part is I 100% know that that's you as far as wanting to make the impact, and I share in that because I'm the same way, and I know Mo is probably listening. Said, "Nigga, we still ain't got them reels." I think a big part of it is, and it's really not overthinking, right? It's not overthinking or being hesitant or saying it's got to be perfect. It's not that, but it is. What does it say? And I think part of me, the way I'm getting to that point is, I go online a lot, and I know I'm due for a social media because
Social media break.
everything I see on social media annoys me right now. Like I'm just tired of everybody.
You're turning into
I,
unk.
well, it's just so much information, and I'm not gonna sit here and be one to tell someone what they should and should not talk about or what brand they want to kind of go down. That's what this whole thing is for. But somebody made an interesting point. Was like, man, I remember when like Instagram first came out. That shit was just to show pictures and have fun. Now it's making content and reels and trying to get people to laugh and not being authentic and everything else that comes with it. I saw, there's Black Tech Week going on in Cincinnati, and I saw so many posts of people having their reactions, which is cool. And that's for their audience, but it's like it can be overwhelming. How many times do I need to see the same thing over and over? I really think either if you're really good at something and really knowledgeable at something, I think you should share that. Um, or if you're very passionate about something, I think you should share that. But I just don't need every single thing. Like I don't need your lunch order every day. I don't need to see you, hear you, give you. It's just me. This is me. I'm not saying that's what I say don't matter, but in that degree, should I say? But it's just social media. I just can't see myself putting that out because I don't care about it. And if I don't care about it, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna stop. That's how you know you're putting stuff out for other people and not yourself. And I
That's
finally
facts.
came up with a great idea that I am going to start and implement. And I think that's really going to gain some traction. And that's the type of you know interactions that I want, and the kind of footprint that I want to leave online. And I'll get more into that, at a later date when y'all see what I'm going to handle. But I don't even know. I started rambling, but
No,
I
you
feel
brought
you
up a
on the
good point.
impact part.
You brought up a good point in that. Shout out to good brother Mo. He sent us a clip, beautiful clip from the
Mm-hmm.
comedian Kev on stage after last week's episode. And thank you, Mo. Mo sent
Thank
that
you, man.
message over immediately. How can I help? Which was a key aspect of last week's episode. So I wanted to give that brother his flowers. But he sent over a clip that was like kind of in response to that, just putting us up on it. And Kev on stage was just talking about, I think it was Kev on stage, and he was just saying how the posts don't have to be perfect. And he was talking about how he was working these multiple jobs and stuff, and he was just putting stuff out, not waiting on it or wanting it to be perfect, but just continue just doing it. You remember the post?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And it was a really good message, but I couldn't. I won't say that I don't agree. I just can't get myself to feel that way, right? Like, I'm not saying my posts have to be perfect, anything, but it would annoy me. Like me and you had audio issues before we got on. We had to switch to a different platform to use.
Yeah,
Things like that just annoy me, and it may not be my fault, but like for me, that does have to be that way. And I'm trying to change, but like no, like the sound has to be right. Like all the background needs to be correct. Like that's just a weird quirk that I have in the sense of why I don't post as much because I don't want to sit in the car and like have you looking at me. It just don't look right to me for me. There's people that can do it that is cool for, but I just don't see myself doing that. Similar to what you're saying. But it just I get the message of what he's saying is you have to do it, and I understand when people say just do the reels or do the thing, but it still bothers me that it ain't of the quality or it's not 100% the thing that I want it to be. Like it can't be half the thing for me. It got to be the whole thing. Pause. Like I need it to be like how I want it to look. Like it can't be, oh, you did it. Like that's fucking fine. Everybody out there is doing it. We looking at them niggas making content and doing streams with 3 people liking and following it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that dude. I know you got to start somewhere, but it still bothers me, I'll say.
I agree with that, and I would love for all the bookworms out there listening, man. Please leave a comment, write in, email, challenge us on this. Challenge us and let us show us the other side that we're missing, because I couldn't agree more. Whereas if I made a content, let's go back to what you said about you couldn't see yourself just being in the car, right? I'll do movie reviews on Culture Garden, like on the story, but I'll post a picture of the poster, I'll put a grade, and then there will be a clip, but it will be me talking, black background, and I turn the caption on. And I'm just talking, no face, no nothing, because that just doesn't feel natural for me. Like kind of making that or putting my face in front of the green screen and doing stuff like that, I personally don't like it. Personally. Now, will numbers probably show that, hey, more visual content and people seeing your face will boost your numbers and blah, blah, blah? Probably. But for right now, I got to get to the point where I have to have some kind of control of what I am putting out. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, this is a space where you got to be responsible for what you put out. And I don't want to fall into the machine of, oh, they're saying you got to do this, so I'm going to do it. Well, fuck what they say. I've never lived by that anywhere else. So why would I start in this space? I'm gonna do shit because I want
facts.
to do it, and I feel like there's a happy medium. Because if you saw a post, if I get to the point where I get really good at this, and you see a post and you know it's good, now most people are going to be able to wait for a week for the next post versus having to see it every day. And there's that fatigue. Like I've never been one to just be on online anyway. Like I just this
Yep.
year I started posting these monthly recaps, and that's a happy medium for me. Post once a month, get a little bit of what did June look like, what it may look like for you, move on to the next thing. So I don't know, but I do want to. I do want somebody to go in and challenge us on this. Maybe show us things
Fact.
that we're not thinking about and why we should be changing up our methods.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely would love to receive that feedback as well. And I already immediately know, like, just playing devil's advocate with myself, that's kind of an easy way out in the sense of what we're saying, and I don't want to do it because people are asking for it or the algorithm will hit on it. I want to do it and it be something that I like and that I feel like is impactful, like that Chat GPT readback said. And what I would challenge myself to do in real time, just listening to this, and it hit me immediately. It's like, well, nigga, find the thing that you like to do then. Like you can't, I can't dismiss it and say, oh, well, I don't want to do it because I ain't feeling it that way. Or I don't want to do it like what you said earlier, just because now I feel like I got to do it to feed the people. I still want it to be impactful for me. Then I have to find that routine or thing that I feel like is impactful if I plan on being successful in this space. I can't just say, oh, well, that don't work for me. I have to find something that does work for me.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah.
Let me ask you this, just real quick, since we're on the conversation. What happened to the weekly updates? Those were good. I think you put out two of them. They both were good.
Yeah. Um, what I just said. Like it was cool, but I feel like I was doing it because people were asking for it, not because I wanted to.
Okay.
I need to
So,
find a way to continue to do it like how I want to and overthinking it too. Cause then I was thinking about, oh, I'm gonna set up the tripod and do it in this location and go do it here. And of course, on the second one, I had some edits on it. So I got to continue that up. And immediately started to feel like, oh, you're doing this for everybody else. When I wanted it to be a me thing. Like this is the way that I'm comfortable presenting these, and it works. But as soon as the second one comes and people, oh, this edits and this is like now I feel like, oh shit, this is
yeah,
something that like I'm doing the service to people, and I don't want to do it strictly for that. I want it to be more impactful for me, and I'm trying to get more comfortable or find a more comfortable voice to where it is more impactful for me, to where it's not a 3 minute, oh, this is coming up, but it's also insightful. It's also making a presentation of some of the things that you just read back in that chat GPT thing.
yeah.
Like, here's the purpose behind me doing it. It ain't so 100 people or 200 or 300 or 400, 500 people can see what I have coming up next week. I also want you to get more familiar with me as a person, as a brand, for somebody that wants you to buy a hat or a shirt or listen to a podcast. I want you to relate to that. And I didn't feel like it was relatable. I feel like it was the people that liked it and gave me compliments on it was like, oh, that's cool. You're doing that because you said you wanted to. I listened to another week in the books, or I know you, or this is cool to see
So,
you do this because you haven't done this. I feel like it was servicing that purpose, but it wasn't like, oh, this is interesting. This is impactful. This is cool. Like I'm gonna think about this when I close the app up. So,
okay, real quick. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting. So, I don't know if you're like me, but certain ideas just come to me. Like
mhm,
when I get in this mode where I'm trying to force it, I just kind of fall back and then out of it because it'll be on my mind all the time. How can I do this? How can I tweak this? And when you think about something all the time, it's hard to really let the idea come through. And every now and then, it's like the light bulb goes off. It's like, oh shit!
yep,
So I came up with this idea for Culture Garden
mhm,
that I want to do for social media. And everybody I've talked to about it so far is like, yo, that's a great idea.
mhm,
Like that. So I know I got something. It's also very niche. So that's one thing I found out in this process. It's very specific of what I'm doing. It's not really about me. It's about my love of movies. And that's kind of like you learn about me through movies. And that's kind of the thing, right? And I'm also going to be involving other people with it. So it's a good moment to be able to interact with people and go from there. And I wonder if you've thought about it in that like kind of a micro sense yet, where maybe you can pick something that's really important to you or specific, whether it's music or whatever, or even the podcast that you talked about, and give a brief run through. I also, and we could talk about this off air, I think something that you and I could do for each other. I mentioned this last week about not having anybody that's depending on you. We
mhm.
really have to start looking at each other we brothers in arms in this. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like in a real way, not just on a casual, like it's cool to record one day and then we'll meet back up and try to figure it out. Like, nah, like really being there and saying, hey, if we say we're gonna do this, I just gave Spike Lee my word. And I
Mhm.
can't go back on that. And vice versa. I think you and I could come up with something.
Yes. I
So
agree.
it's just whether it's weekly. I've always had the idea of maybe going live once a week, even if it's for like 15, 20 minutes, and maybe talk about something. I don't know what it would look like, but we can start brainstorming something that maybe we can dedicate our time to putting that stuff out and help each other. Even if it's me just asking you questions, you say getting to know Spike, but whatever you're comfortable with. It'll take time because, as your description just said, you're not just doing it just to do it. You want it to last. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
we can talk about it, but let's start
That's a good
looking at it
point.
in that sense too. Like, hey man, I told Spike Lee I'm gonna do this, and once we get started on the train, I think it's gonna help out a lot. So
I agree with that. I think that's a really good point, and kind of leads into your description. If you didn't have any more about
Well, I
mine, and
just
then
got
we
one.
could.
Only
Oh
thing I
yeah,
was going to ask you left
no
was,
rush.
was there anything you disagreed with? Is there anything that you thought was a little bit skeptical, or you think, well, I don't know if I'm all the way there?
Nah, that was a crazy thing about it for me. I didn't. It was like a
Uh-huh.
complete read. It was like, damn, like this is yeah, this is it. And there's even, and I'll share with you offline because I don't want to give all the sauce away. But even after that, there's some prompts that you could use to like really hold your feet to the fire. If you want to do this way, then here's how you do it. And that's one of the things. Like we talked about people being scared of AI and replacing jobs or whatever it may be. But there's also this tool to it if you sharp enough to be able to understand it, like it giving you that information from just a little bit that you put in that, using that business savvy that it described about me and continuing those prompts and what it can spit out for you to do to achieve things. I was I was hesitant to continue going
Mm,
because I knew that there would be no excuse once I asked certain questions. And I share that with you once we get done recording because I don't want to just there's still some IP there that doesn't go to everybody, but I can share with you. But
fair.
I asked myself after the next prompt, it asked me, it was like, do you want me to create the plan and the schedule for you to do this?
Yeah,
And now, if it's creating the plan and the schedule for you to do this, there are no more excuses. Ain't no, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to record because it's going to give you all of it.
yeah,
You should be posting this. You should post this here. This is why. So you can get the whole breakdown of what do I do with this information just from a couple more prompts from that. And I find myself hesitating for a second and like, all right, once you do this, like it ain't no, oh, well, I didn't know what to do or I wasn't feeling this. Like now the information is in front of you and you just need to like make a couple of changes to whatever you may not agree with, but essentially the game plan is there. So there's nothing that would hold you back other than just people not being responsive to it, which I don't see. So yeah, I'm gonna share the other prompts with you that you put in after that, but it's an eye opening thing and a thing that lets you know, okay, like, do you want this or not? Like, it's just something like here it is. I broke it down for you in every step of the way, and here's how you do it, and then give me your results 6 months from now. I promise you they're gonna be different from what you're doing in the last 6 months. So, yeah,
well,
I
I gotta ask, what makes you hesitate?
yep. That's a really good question. Holding myself accountable to do the things that it's telling me to do.
Okay.
That's it. Like just being completely transparent and honest. It's like because again, to
So
the
what do
to
you
the
need?
T,
What do you
to the
need
T, it's
to
like
hold yourself accountable?
being more hands-on with the finished product than I am now in the sense of podcasting. Like one of the just from reading what it spit out to me on the next prompts that I did, just the footage and being able to cut clips from the footage. All the rest of the stuff is just you just have to do it. Like here's the talk track, here's the subject. Go be Spike Lee for 5 to 10 minutes. Cut that up and put that here. Like it broke it all the way down to that. So there is no excuse for not doing it. Like the only thing from me reading that is like I don't from most of the podcasts that I do, people that are listening, I don't walk away with the raw footage to be able to cut clips because I just me being lazy mostly. But that was the only thing. Like if I just start requesting the raw footage for everything that I'm on and all the shows that I do and find ways just to use CapCut to cut a 5 to 10 second clip of it, like I would be able to execute the plan that it put in front of me.
Bookworms, if you're out there listening right now, I'm gonna take this and put it out. If you are into social media or know social media managers or into marketing, things like that, reach out to us. Reach out to
Mm,
us. I
hmm.
would love to have a conversation to get a better understanding. I'll say this right now. One of the things with me that gets me motivated is learning how things work. Like from somebody who's real. Sometimes Google ain't enough and ChatGPT ain't enough. Sometimes I like to talk to people in that field and all right, show me. Shout out to Denzel in Philadelphia, man. Explain this to me like I'm a father. Like break this
Mm,
down for me so maybe I can see this is the direct impact from the work, and get a better
hmm.
idea of what the best way to present things are. Because I see some pages, as much as I said earlier about there's a lot of pages I'm tired of looking at. I see a lot of good content, a lot of that stuff that's well
Facts.
put together. The edits are clean, the content is there. And I'd love to know how to do that, or what if it's a feature, if it's just skill, whatever. So if you or you know anybody, please hit us up, man. We actually would love to have you on the show, have a conversation about the internet,
Facts.
how to use it to your advantage, whole nine. So um, that's something I'll be thinking about, Spike. What you just said,
Yes.
because there's a lot. There's another conversation to be had there, but we'll get there. But all right,
Yeah, especially when I share with you like the additional prompts. I can't wait to see what it spits out for you with the additional prompts that I put in after that. So I'm
all
gonna
right.
remind me when we get done recording to tell you about it. Rich,
Yep, good segue.
your chat GPT read. All righty. So it says, all right, Rich, I'm gonna use Rich here. Here's who you are based on everything you've shared and how you show up in these conversations. At your core, you're a builder. You're building platforms, conversations, communities, and a better version of yourself. One project, one episode, one reflection at a time. You don't just participate in things, you shape them. Whether it's the Culture Garden, We Got Y'all, Another Week in the Books, or the Gridiron Jungle, you're not just hitting record. You're setting intentions, asking deeper questions, and pushing for meaningful, accountable work. But here's the unfiltered truth, Rich. You wrestle with the gap between your vision and your current results. You know your work has value, and it does, but part of you is frustrated that you're not reaching the ceiling you know you're capable of. Sometimes you fall into autopilot, hoping that talent and conversation alone will carry the weight, even though you know the discipline, structure, and execution are the real keys. You crave realness. Surface level does not satisfy you, not in conversation, not in people, not in your own life. That's why feedback doesn't scare you, it humbles you, maybe even stings, but you lean into it. You want to be better, not just look like it. You also carry a deep sense of responsibility to your voice, your audience, to your people, to Black culture, your growth, but sometimes, and to your growth. But sometimes that weight shows up as pressure, perfectionism, or overthinking. You want to make sure it all matters and that you matter. So, who are you, Rich? You're a thoughtful creative with leadership instincts, a cultural archivist, a storyteller, a man doing the real internal work, not just for himself, but to be a mirror for others. You haven't peaked, you haven't plateaued, but you're in the middle of a tension that separates potential from power. And how you show up in the next stretch, it will define your projects. It will not only define your projects, but your legacy. I won't sugarcoat it. You've got everything you need except maybe the system that ties it all together. You build that and it's over. Let me know if I can help doing it. You laughing.
Yeah, I'm laughing because to your point, might as well get it out the way. There is no disagreement. Matter of
Mm.
fact, the most chilling part of this,
This what
because I've
brought up
had,
the episode of like rest, right?
yeah, fatigue and
Yeah.
self doubt. The most chilling part about that whole segment, was I've had actual conversations verbatim, you know what I mean, on a phone call or recordings with Rachel, having those conversations of like, man, the talent is there. Like that should be enough. Like I feel like we shouldn't have to run through all these other, jump through all these other hoops and do all this extra work just to be seen. Like just listen, and the talent's there. And I know it doesn't work like that. And they said that in that description, and I thought that was incredible because I've had that conversation. It's almost, and y'all know I'm reference rich, man. I always got a movie reference. I felt like Jake in Training Day after they shot
Mm.
Roger, and he in that car, and he like, it can't be this way. I'm sorry, it is. I'm sorry I had to be the one to expose you, but it is. I feel like Jake, like it can't be this way, man. You can't tell me that you can be so good in one area, but you're not popping like you're supposed to because you have to play the game and do all the other stuff. Like there's a little bit of me that like feels the disbelief of like, man, it shouldn't be that difficult. I should be able to just
Facts.
here's the talent, let's take it from there. But I know that's not how it works. So that was very chilling. And also just they called me out. And I can appreciate that. I do believe in a lot of things they said that were
Because you've
positive.
said
And
this
so
stuff. You've said some
said
of
this.
this
I've
on the show.
said
Yeah.
this stuff, and I've never said it to Chat GPT. I don't know if they listen to the episodes or what. The leadership thing is always natural, right? Sometimes you don't know. We talked about this last week, I think, where when you're a talent, yeah, because I think I mentioned how if it's not a physical talent, sometimes you don't know how good you are at something.
Mm.
And I've always had characteristics of leadership, like always. If I go back to Pee Wee football, 7 years old, like coaches are making me a captain because of leadership quality. I've never, matter of fact, every time I played sports, I was always a captain on the team. So I was a lead by example and I had a voice. I know how to talk to everybody. I have a simple sense of empathy and understanding where I look at people from a human experience and I kind of understand things. And it goes layered than that. I'm a black man first, ASAP. No question about it. That doesn't mean I can't talk to anybody else in the room. I
Mm-hmm.
actually, and this is something I was going to bring up to you, Spike, and we brought this up chapters ago, and I think you even mentioned it on book one. We really, this is going back to holding each other accountable and being there for each other. We got to get out here more. Like
Mm.
just spend a day, look up an event, like a black event or some kind of event going on in the city, register for it, and just shake some hands or rub some elbows. I forgot what it was like to work a room.
Mm-hmm.
I was at an event for work, and I work for a large company. I was at an event for work, man, and it was a happy hour event after we had this site event. And me just being me and talking got me a lunch with a director and a president of one of the departments, two of the departments of
Mm.
my company. Like I didn't say it. They were put some time on the calendar. We all gonna go to lunch, like do all of
Mm-hmm.
that. And it was one of those things where I'm just like, damn, like I needed that reminder to be like, you know what, you
And
it
you
is
weren't
nothing
doing
more.
anything other than
Yes,
being yourself.
and that's it. Not doing anything other than being yourself, which can go to your point, what you said earlier, Spike. That's why you're so cautious of putting things out that aren't you. Like I'm not doing this for me, or I'm not being myself. I'm performing, and you know, performance only goes so far. I'd rather put something out that's more natural, which is why I understand completely where you come from on that. I rather put out one meaningful, authentic post than 7 posts in a row. And I don't care if that's the one that gets the least amount of you know uh, interaction,
Views. Yeah.
yeah, views or whatever the case is. Like it's authentic and it's me, and we build because you're gonna find your tribe. But either way, I say all that to say, like, just talking to people, relating to people, natural leadership instinct. I think I had that. Building. I talked about this, right? I told y'all I'm more comfortable putting people in the right position. It's not about me wanting to be anybody. It's like, oh, I see this idea. I got the perfect person for it, right? All types of stuff. Just seeing that vision and knowing who to right. What's that episode we just had? I forget what chapter it was. When it was the one with Portia. And I told you,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Spike, man, I'm most the person to be on this episode because
Yeah.
there was a scheduling issue, and we had been trying to get this episode done for 2 or 3 weeks. And we were gonna start late. Spike was able to adjust his recording schedule to start on time. It was one of my favorite chapters we've done. And I think you even told me, like, man, like that was a good call on having Mo because he was the perfect
Mm.
person for this conversation with all three of us. Um, and that's the type of stuff that I like and I see. So I like to build that community and build that world. The biggest part of it is I do spend a lot of time self-reflecting and wanting to be better, maybe even overthinking to a certain degree. And it's about that last step, which is putting everything together. It even said it, man. Like once you build that, it's over. And that's something I know. And maybe Spike a little bit to your point earlier as to why you didn't go ahead and get that schedule from ChatGPT. Because you
Oh, I
kind of
did.
know. Oh, you did.
I
Okay.
did. I
The
bit the
hesitant.
bullet and did it. Yeah, but I was hesitant. Yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of know, like, all right, man, it, this might fuck around and work out. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That's
Sometimes that's a real thing. This might fuck around and work out. And it's not like you're shying away from it. I think, and this could be its own episode in itself. I love to talk about imposter syndrome. Maybe that was a
Mm.
little bit to our self doubt conversation that we had last week. But the fact that I haven't peaked or plateaued, I'm like in the middle of that tension, potential for power. Shout out to Phil, man. Phil and my dog Corey, man. They always joking like, man, yeah, you got a lot of potential, Rich. Got a lot of potential, and I feel that. Sometimes I feel like Zion. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like you, unquestioned, the talent's there. Nobody ever questioned. Matter of fact, when he was coming out, clear cut number one pick, wasn't even a debate. And now you 6, 7, 8 years in. So I look at it in my podcasting career. I'm 3, 4 years in. It's like, all right, then, well, yeah, it's there. Like the talent's there. Is there enough motivation? Can he stay healthy? Can he do all the things to put it all together? Like when you're on the floor, you look great. You ain't on the floor enough. You're not consistent enough for us to put you in that next category. And I think that's what it is for me. That's why I feel like that. I feel like everything's there, all the pieces. It's just about putting that routine together, getting that consistency, and then taking off. And the frustrating part about it, and I know you can relate to this, is we know that. And it's like, man, it's not, it is that easy, but it ain't that easy. And I don't really know how to describe that.
No, you
Because
that's
there's going to be,
100% it.
because there's going to, I say that because there's going to be people who listen to this and they're just going to shrug their shoulder like, just do it. And I understand that. I'm not disagreeing with you. There's a little bit more to that when you're really trying to build it and make sure it maintains. And I can't explain it. I wish I could, but yeah.
Stop right there for a second. What do you think that is? Because I have the same thing. Is it ego? Is it a lack of belief in people or the system? Because before I toss it to you, I'll give more insight, but how I relate to that. Because a lot of times, just like what you said, you're like, okay, well, here's the plan, here's the thing to do. But what if it don't work? Am I now not the person that I thought that I was? Am I now like if I do these things and there is no increase in engagement, there is no, oh, here's the next level or the next step. I create this plan, we execute this plan, and it still doesn't put me on the trajectory that you want to be on. What is that fear for you? Is it ego saying, I thought I was this good, but now that I'm putting the rubber to the road and doing the things, it turns out that I'm not a Joe Budden 7 million listeners a week person. I'm not a whoever it may be 300,000 a week. I am where I'm at right now. 6,000 people a week like that. That's me, and you have to learn to accept that. Is it because you and this is a question for me too? Is it because you haven't gotten to a place where it's like, okay, this is what it's going to be. I accept if it's 6 to 7 to 10,000 people a week, and I'm gonna do with that what I need to do. And if I love it enough to do it without it being financially beneficial, then cool, I'll keep doing it. If this ain't it for me, then fuck it, I'll stop. But what if it's not 1 million people? Is that a worry of yours?
No. So that's a great question, Spike. And there's a little bit of both sides to it. One
Mm.
side is I'm thinking of that Kanye line, man. Dog, I was having nervous breakdowns. Like, man, these niggas that much better than me. Like, there's a point before you really make it where you look around and you believe in the talent, you believe in the system and the setup, and you look around and you ain't where you're supposed to be, but you look at people who are, and you have that thought, like, is there really that big of a gap? Like, I don't think there is. I don't think there's that big of a gap between me and some of the well-known people, or you and some of the well-known people, or Rachel or Mo and everybody else, right? The gap's not that large, but if I go forward with this, maybe I get here with the realization that it is that large. Maybe I
Mm.
am crazy. Maybe I'm not as
Mm.
good as I think I am. Now, do I believe that in my soul of souls? No. Because
Mm.
sometimes you can be good. It's almost like being that underrated hooper, right? Talk about Joe Johnson, right? Joe Johnson could hoop his ass off. Your favorite player in the league will tell you Joe Johnson will give you buckets. Joe Johnson wasn't on anybody's favorite top five, no nothing. The nigga can hoop. And that's cool being Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson's a multiple time All Star. Accolades, huge contracts. He's paid, he's taken care of, like, cool. But I think there is like when you Joe Johnson, but you have a breakdown I heard actually, and I'm gonna give credit to it. It was on Higher Learning because it was a few months back, and they were talking about the whole the disgusting T Mac behavior, talking about Kobe. But the whole point was, I think Van made a point. He was like, "Man, T Mac, if T Mac had if his building is 75 floors, he might have made it to the 60th floor. Like
Mm,
if Kobe's floor was 90 floors, Kobe made it to all 90. He maximized every single piece of that building to get to the best of his potential. And that's one of those things where I look at it as like, damn, man, maybe the building is 100 stories up, and I don't want to stop myself from getting to 80, like, and only
mm.
stopping at 80. I want to get to 100. I know another reference I heard. This came from Bill Simmons' book of basketball. I thought it was just a great comparison. Talked about Shaq's career. Said Shaq had everything you could to be a 4.0 summa cum laude student, like the best student in the
I
whole
read that.
university. But he chose to party on the weekends and kick it and say, you know what? I'm gonna take a 3.0. A 3.0 is still good. It's still good. It's still above average. I'm still gonna get a couple honors with this, but I'm gonna go out here and kick it and have fun. Could he have gone to 4.0? Yes, but what's that sacrifice make? And that's kind of that division where it's like, do you take it all the way, or do you are you cool with just being what it is? So there's a little bit of hesitancy as far as damn, are they right? I also look at things like these are all reps. So maybe I think failure is the setup for whatever's next. Like you can break something down and say, all right, I messed up at this. I'm gonna take this on my next thing because me personally, I always have an idea. Like I'm never scared of if one thing doesn't work, then it's just over. Because I got 4 podcast ideas right now. I just don't have the capacity to do them.
Right.
So I'm never concerned about that. It's more so about how's it going to feel when that light is there shining on you, and you do have people, even though you have 50%, 60%, 70% saying that you are really good, they enjoy your content. How are you going to react when that 20, 30% say, nah, get this shit out of here? Are you going to ignore
Mm,
it? Are you going to take it to heart? Are you going to start listening to that side more than you are the 70 that's telling you it's great? Like it's a balance that has to come with all of this. And I think that once you take that step in there, you win it. And the only thing is to either go through with the maze or you got to bow out respectfully. You got to be Andre 3000 and say, I ain't rapping no more.
facts. You said something really important there. That was great points. A couple of things that I want to speak to because they're glaring in the conversation that we're having. You brought up a great person with Joe Johnson to say it. I'll start there. There was this thing going around, like you said, people that know Joe Johnson. He's a
Mm-hmm.
hooper,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking to him about like going one on one with Michael Beasley and shit like that, and he was offended. Like
Mm-hmm.
who do y'all think that I am?
Yep.
I'm one of the best that ever did it. I don't care about the accolades, and if you don't look at me like Kobe, but you're not gonna put me in a $75,000 one-on-one match with Michael Beasley and think that that's who I am. Like that ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
And just like what you were saying with T Mac, and I'll even go to our good brother Mo because he has this quality as well. You and I lack because we have a similar personality. We lack taking it to a place where, and you said this in what you were just saying, you have to show me that I'm crazy. Like you called it something different and you saying it ain't enough people laughing at you.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about people like even like Joe Johnson said it, uh, I'll credit Joe Budden with this. Somebody that I hate to credit, but I see them doing this as like a Charleston White. Like they go to a place where it's like, no, I'm going to present you with this content, and you have to show me that I'm crazy, that it's not going to be like people not going to be receptive of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I put Mo in that category because like when I talk about how he reached out to me and reached out to you and like how this whole thing got started, it's like, no, you have to call me crazy for doing this, and
Yeah.
then I will renege. But
Yeah.
I ain't gonna let it sounding crazy in my head stop me from doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with you and I, sometimes it's like, oh, that's insane. I'm not going up to this. Like I went to like I'm not going up to Belly Gang Cushioning with my phone out because I went to his concert and I'm a big fan and talking to him to get like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But sometimes that has to be done in order for people to believe that I'm true about this vision that I'm with. And I think one of the main things for me, and I don't want to speak for you, is we don't do enough of no, you got to call me crazy. I'm going to do it and I'm going to go all the way there with it. And even if it seems like an astronomical dream, you still, I'll credit Dro with this too. Like starting his own business and what he does is a million people that do what he does and the much larger corporations. But he took it from a sense of like, no, you have to call me crazy for trying this versus me thinking I'm crazy and not
Yeah.
doing it.
You know what? I just want to. That's very well said. I have to say this right now because this is something I've learned about myself recently. How important a goal list is for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Fact,
an
same here.
actual list. Like say, like pen to paper, make a list, something you look at. Because if I don't have that motivation of this is where I want to be, or it's not really short term. It's more so I do my short term goals, but really long term. Like where do I want to be in a year? Which always used to be like a dreadful question for me because I'm such a like in the moment, like we'll cross that bridge when you get there type of person. But when you really look at it and understand what that question means, is like, what are you doing today? How do you want your life to be? It's almost like the best case scenario situation you brought up, right? How do you want your life to look from a year and what do you need to do to make that happen? And then you start making a list for that, whether it's your job or whatever the case is. And I learned even during when I had, the self doubt and fatigue with the podcast, one thing I had to write down was what are some goals that I want for the podcast that I'm a part of? Because I have to write that stuff down. And I have to
Mm-hmm.
be able to see me put a check mark next to it because I got it done. Like that's just important to me. Um, and that's a part of the whole you have to call me crazy. Like otherwise I'll lean on it and just be like, nah, I'm just gonna do it my own pace. Now I wrote something crazy down, so now I gotta bring it up.
Mm. Yep.
You know what
And
I
I got to do
mean?
the crazy thing.
I gotta do
And
the
people
crazy
like
part.
might have to call me crazy for it, but that's what comes with it. And if they
Yeah.
call me crazy for it, then I make the adjustment. Like that's how dedicated I think. Well, not even I think I know. That's how dedicated you have to be towards a goal. And sometimes that falls through the cracks in a
And
sense of
I'm,
I want to do this, but I don't want people to look at me like I'm crazy. No, people are gonna have to look at you like you crazy. Like when the nigga went to the brothers that started McDonald's and was like, nah, y'all can automate this shit and y'all have stores everywhere. And they had to look at him like, well, you crazy. And he stole their idea. Like now we see what McDonald's is.
mm-hmm.
Like you and I think that's one of the takeaways for the episode for you and I, for people to listen and listen to this show for that particular thing is you got to start doing the thing that make people think that you're crazy or call you crazy. Like, nah, that ain't gonna work, bro. Well, that's
And
crazy. How could you think that? Like, I don't do enough of that. That's one of my flaws. I know that. I don't do enough of, well, that's crazy, Lou. Like, why would you do that? I have
and
vision and I want to get to this place.
and not to mention like people, I'll put myself in there included. Sometimes we overthink about the opinions of just people who don't even respectfully who don't even matter. And I mean that in the sense that you're not even in the orbit. Like a lot of this is just noise. It's not even real stuff. Like the only people you should care about are the people that are in your real circle, that have access to you, that talk to you, and you respect what they're saying. What's the famous quote? I'm not gonna take criticism from somebody I want to take advice from.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like if I want to take advice from
Facts.
you, who gives a fuck what you're talking about? Like you just another voice talking.
Right.
And guess what? Because of the numbers, there's going to be way more people out there just talking and with noise than there are going to be in your corner. That's why you have to have a good team, good circle. That's why it's so important, Spike, that we start saying out loud, like, nah, I'm depending on you, my nigga.
Yes.
Like we locked in this. Like I'm depending on you, depending on me. I'm gonna make sure I do everything I can to make sure you get to where you need to be, and vice versa. Um, but yeah, it's a fascinating concept, but it is something that can be accomplished. Just about doing it and really trying to figure that part out um, of being crazy. Being crazy. Write that crazy thing down. I wrote something down on my goal list for one of the podcasts that scared the shit out.
Mm.
But now it's there. And
So
I
now you
think
got to
it's
be
going to
crazy.
be, but I think it's going to be even more fascinating when I get to the point where I look at that. I'm like, oh, that was light shit.
Facts.
Like you can't sell yourself short, man. And it's funny when you were talking about Joe, I just kept thinking about that. I kept thinking about that Kevin Durant clip when they were playing the Clippers. The Golden State was playing the Clippers in the playoffs, and they had that
Hmm.
infamous. You're like, I'm Kevin Durant. Like you know that. Like y'all know that, right? Y'all
Like
know who I
what?
am. Like I'm Kevin Durant, and then the next game, people don't. They always talk about that clip as being one of the coldest sound bites. They rarely forget to mention that next game he came out and dropped like 51.
Mm,
Because they were talking about like Pat Beverly, is he a problem for me? He's like, why are y'all talking to me about Pat Beverly? Like, bro, I'm doing all of this because here's the defensive schemes and here's what they're throwing at us. But in case y'all got it fucked up, I'm Kevin Durant. Like, I hope you know that. And I think that's where
facts.
it's time to look at it like, y'all, you know who I am, right? And what I do in this space.
That's a
And
good
not
point.
being so humble about it. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff to carry with it. But it is, ChatGPT is fascinating.
It is very fascinating. Before we close out, I wonder, was this on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivating was the what it spit out for you? Like, was it
10,
motivating at all? 10?
100%, 10. 10. Because it's a mirror. It held it right
Mm,
up to me and told me everything I need. Like it is, it's gonna get to a point where it's embarrassing
yes.
if some of this stuff doesn't get done. It's gonna be embarrassing.
Facts.
It's going to
Facts.
be like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Because y'all way too
Y'all just
talented for
talking.
this. Y'all just talking, yeah. And there's
Yeah.
got to be some action behind it. Um, so yeah, and this is where we draw that line when we talked about last week, where being kind to yourself. Yeah, you do want to acknowledge the good things that you're doing, but there is also, I still have so much I need to get done. I can't get lost looking at the flowers for this long. I can stop and acknowledge them. I might even pick a rose or two, but I got to keep going down this track. There's more seeds to plant. We got to make sure we're on top of things. So, um, yeah, that's the thing, man. But I think a lot of it's going to be the accountability, what we need to help, asking other people for help. That's something I do want to make sure that we do. I think we mentioned it. I mentioned it off air to you, Spike. Like one of the challenges is take a week or take some time to ask somebody for some help with something.
That's
You
gonna be the
and I.
hardest part for me. I know
Yeah.
it. I know it.
That's why I
Like
shot it. That's
not
why I mentioned like if you anybody knows anybody about social media, hit us up. That's something I need help with. And I'm finally at the point where I can acknowledge I need somebody to guide me through this. Like who can do that?
that's gonna be the hardest part for me. Opening
Yeah.
up and being like, I need help with this. Attending to the schedule and doing all the things. That's gonna be the hardest part. That's won't be as hard as like just opening up and being like, I need help with this. But I am going to work on that. I agree with you too, as far as the motivational factor of it. 10 out of 10. Like this was something that it was revealing. It was also satisfying, even though it's AI, to be like, oh shit, like this is how I think for real.
Yeah, I see you.
And for you to spit it back to me, yeah, for you to spit it back to me and be like, nah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. You just need to tighten up in a couple of areas. And this is how you move forward with that thought process. That's the thing that was like, oh shit, that's fire. So yeah, that I think that was a really good exercise. It was something that that was a seed that we have to continue to nurture, and 6 months from now come back to and be like, damn, look at that tree, or damn, that plant died. Like one or the other. So
I like the way you put
I
that.
think that was really good.
I'm gonna get with you this week,
Yes,
brainstorm some of these content ideas, or maybe like I said, even go on IG live, doing something to still be ourselves but up the viewership. I'm sure there's a lot of people on our personal IG pages, so where we just said we go live at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, or whatever the case may be, 7 p.m., 20, 30 minutes, that we can get some views on the conversation and just really bring who we are, what we're doing here. Like that's a more like you already here. Just click on it. And it's rare. Ain't nobody ever seen my name with a live button on it. So if you see it, it's gonna be like, hold on, what the fuck is what are you talking about? Same with you, I'm sure Spike will. So
facts. Yeah,
we'll
facts.
get it
It may
together,
have
man. We
happened
working on it.
once.
This is something that is, and I'll just say this as we close out. Not to not to give ourselves relief, but also to keep it in perspective. One of the things that my feedback gave me that I can agree with is sometimes you want those answers to happen right away. The same way we just had the
Hmm.
discussion, like what's next? How do we do this? Um, and sometimes it does take a little bit of time. It's not an instant, okay, I know what to do. We're gonna start doing it. It does take a little bit of time every now and then to really process and really make sure you're on the right path. Um, so yeah, we got to make sure it's intentional, but also we can't be frustrated with ourselves when it doesn't happen right away.
Yes.
Um, you know what I mean? The results is what I mean by that. The results
Yeah,
don't
that's one of
happen
my
right away.
biggest things too. Like one of the things that holds me back the most is like, well, what's that gonna change for tomorrow or next week or next
It's
month? Like that
investable.
ain't gonna you ain't gonna be able to stop working in corporate America because you did this, and that shouldn't be the thought process. It should be
It's
this is an investment in time, and just like you watch your stocks grow, if you put money in those, it's an investment in time of like, okay, yeah, you did this here and it's going to pay off in 6, 10, 9 months, well, excuse 6, 10, 12, 14 months or whatever it may be. Like wrapping my head around that, not looking for a quick fix.
yeah, you're absolutely right, man.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect place to land the plane. You got anything else?
No, that was great, man. A very
Yeah.
good episode. I would
Let's
love to hear more questions of the week one, but two, I would love to hear like other people that are listening put these prompts in if you use chat gpt and kind of send us to if you're open to it, send it to us and let us know what you thought about what it said to you. I'd love to hear what Mose says.
Oh, 100%. Mo probably don't
I
use
would love to I'd
ChatGPT.
love to hear
No.
what he definitely don't. I love to hear what Portia says, like Ray P, like I would love to hear some of those people put that in and tell them that thing too, so
Yeah, Portions would be fascinating. Matter of fact, we when Portia comes on for first Friday in August, she has to do hers. So we got
okay.
to have a conversation about it. With that being said, this is chapter 35, bookworms. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back chapter 36. We will have a guest. There's a bookworm who reached out to us in May. Um, and just on somebody, hey, man, I respect y'all point of view, man. I love to connect. So we're gonna have a bookworm on, just to kind of connect, talk, build conversation, man, build community. Hopefully everybody has a great week. Let's all get better this week. Learn about yourself. Let's get it. We out.
Peace.